Hey Hofstra fans, welcome inside this week's edition of the WB Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Tom Riddiough again. Pleasure of being joined by the head coach of the Hofstra women's soccer team, Simon Riddiough. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Now Coach, of course, this past week, a big week for your team, heading down to Williamsburg for the CAA tournament. Unfortunately, your team falls in the opening match to Delaware. What was it about this Delaware team that gave you some trouble this season? Of course, picked up 2 wins against you this year.
Yeah, to be honest, the first game, we as a team and as a coaching staff thought that we gave them the game. But to be fair to Delaware, this time around, they came at us and they deserved the victory, unfortunately. I hate to admit it. You never like to admit defeat. But they came with a game plan. They worked extremely hard. They were pumped up, they were intense, and they put us on the back foot immediately, which is very rare for our team. And since then, it was always going to be difficult to gather the momentum back and compete. But, you know, statistically, we fought back. I think it was 8 shots to 1 after the first 20 minutes, and it ended up 20 shots to 10. So, you know, I think it was maybe 12 shots to 9 in the last 70 minutes. So I think it was a fairly evenly played game, except for that first 20 minutes where Delaware was on fire.
Now, of course, a key point in the match, Brooke Benernagel gets sent off in the 65th minute. Doesn't take long for Delaware. Allie Miller gets a goal in the 70th minute. Just talk about the situation regarding the sending off, and then how Delaware was able to capitalize so quickly.
Well, again, I think losing Courtney Breen in the first half was probably even more pinnacle. She is our rock. She gives us our emotional and mental strength. And I think losing her early affected the Brittany Butts and Brooke Benernagels of the world who like to lean on her. And unfortunately for Brooke, I guess she got emotionally too involved in the game. And she got sent off with 25 minutes to go for persistent fouling. And she had been fouling throughout the game, so I can't really complain about the red card. I thought it was a soft foul, but overall, when you're going to commit so many fouls consistently, you live on the edge, and unfortunately this referee wasn't going to accept that. So losing Brooke at that stage obviously made us a battle even bigger. You know, losing Courtney in the first half and Brooke Benernagel the second half. You know, we made some adjustments, and to be fair to the players and the team, that last 20 minutes, although they scored, that last 20 minutes after they scored, we dominated a little bit and started putting them under pressure. So it was good to see that persistence from us and perseverance. However, it wasn't good enough, and Delaware deserved to get the win, and we just wanted to wish them luck for the rest of the way.
Talk about the play of Emily Morphetis, who came up with some big stops to keep your team in a tight game.
Yeah, Emily, you know, other coaches are quite critical of Emily because they haven't seen what she can do. You know, she's been very unfortunate this year. She came in with some ailments, then she started playing well, and she played very well against Texas Tech. And then she gets a concussion against Texas Christian. Sits out for 2 weeks, she's not training, she's not been able to do anything. Comes back for James Madison, she's not 100%. We all know that. She doesn't perform very well, then she has to sit out for another 2 weeks, she has a relapse. And when you're taking 4 or 5 weeks out of your season, you're not going to come back sharp. She wasn't sharp against Towson and George Mason. She only started getting fit and sharp this last couple of weeks, and we saw the benefits of it by the end. And she's a tremendous goalkeeper, and we can only hope that we can keep her healthy and fit and flying for next season, because she's going to be big time for us.
Now, of course, also with the tournament comes the awards, and your team, no shortage of awards again this season. First teamers Courtney Breen and Laura Green. So how do you feel about those 2 players, and of course well deserving of their awards?
Yeah, Laura Green's been fantastic this year. Probably the 2nd or 3rd highest goal scorer in a single season we've ever had. That's a testament to her abilities and what she's improved over the 4 years. She just got better and better. And she's a special player and a special kid. And I'm hoping that she'll maintain contact with the programme and stay with us throughout. Courtney Breen is a monster. We talk about it all the time, and I do honestly, hand on heart, believe that if we'd have been top seed or in the number 1 or 2 spot, Courtney Breen would have been player of the year. she's been that good. And I don't want to take anything away from Mallory Schaefer because she's an awesome player as well. But I just really feel that Corny Breen's irreplaceable. So to get those two on the first team was a nice justification of what they've done, validation, and we'll move forward, and congratulations to those two kids.
Of course, Brittany Butts getting another second team this season. You were hoping to get some more out of her offensively. How would you still rate her season though?
Brittany Butts is special. Even, it probably wasn't her best season in the 4 years she's been here. I think last year she was fantastic. But she's still a tremendous player, and she still gives us so much of intangibles that you don't really see on the stats. She got recognised as a second team All-CAA, so she's definitely in the top 5 midfielders in the conference. But I think she's better than that. But I think she will admit, as well as being objective, that it wasn't her best year. She had some injuries. She had bruised ribs. Early on, she had a concussion at the beginning of the year. She's been through the walls, and when you've got a player of Brittany Butts' abilities and talent, going through those injuries can take its toll. And I think it did a little bit during the year. She's just started turning the corner the last couple of weeks. But that's basically been the story of our season.
Another player, Sam Scolarici, getting into the all-rookie team, and we've talked about her kind of developing through her first season and really becoming a nice player who can give you some goals up front.
Yeah, Sam's been awesome. She's probably played more minutes than we earlier had anticipated with the injuries we experienced. She's got some very good tools. She's explosive, she's quick, she's strong, she makes good runs. And she's grown through this year, and she's become a key player already, which is very rare as a freshman. They usually don't get the opportunity to be the key player there. So for some aspects it's fortunate that we had so many ailments or injuries throughout the year. I think it's helped Sam Scolarici as well as Kaylin Dudley blossom into the players that they've become this year already. And also Brooke Benning got all third team CAA. We don't want to take anything from Brooke. She's been a fantastic leader. Disappointing CAA playoffs again. She's mortified about the whole experience. I don't know if I'll be able to get her on the bus for the CAAs next year if we make it. So, but she's a fantastic player and a good leader, and she's always up for the battle. And unfortunately, sometimes she boils over the top and gets frustrated a little bit. She's emotional, but that's how she plays, and you don't want to take that away from her.
As a coach, maybe not the season that you would hope for. How much would you like to start another season right now and be able to go right away with
Yeah, I'm missing it already. Last year it was kind of a relief that it was all over. Been a tough, long season, and just kept going and going, and we achieved some tremendous goals last year, and it was like, let me sit back and actually enjoy the benefits of our labour. This year it's been different. We just started turning the corner. The last 3 weeks we put ourselves in a hole, but we just started playing good soccer, and we just started getting confident and believing in each other. And I would have liked to have extended it for a couple more weeks, and then obviously start building for next year. Unfortunately, we're going to lose those 3 players, Butts, Breen and Laura Green. It's sad to see them go. They've been great servants to the programme, they've been great ambassadors. I don't think there's a person on campus who doesn't think all 3 are great kids. And just like any college season, it's cyclical. We move on, and unfortunately we have to move on. We can't cry about what we've lost. We've got to move forward and think positive about next year, and getting new players in who can fill those roles. It's going to be difficult, but I'm sure with our players we've got already on the team and the recruits we've got coming in, I think we'll be competitive again.
Is it going to be strange for you to look at a midfield and not see a Tiffany Ovino, a Brittany Butts, or a Courtney Breen in there?
It's going to be sad. I don't know about strange. When you look at those 3, they've been the pinnacle of our programme for the last 5, 6, 7 years. And they've been the cornerstone. They've carried us to unprecedented success in our programme. When you look look at the CAA notes, and we've been to 4 of the last 7 championship games. We've been to 3 NCAAs over the last 7 years. I think that's testament to those 3 players, to be honest. They've been the reason why we've been competitive at that level. They're the reason why we can schedule Ohio State next year, or play Texas Tech, or play UVA, BC at home. Those are the reasons why, and you've got to give them credit. They've been tremendous servants to us, and we're forever indebted.
Coach, lastly, do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share about the season that your team had?
No, it was a good stepping stone. Unfortunately, I didn't want it to be a stepping stone, and minus the 4-game losing streak in the middle of the year, which came at the back end of Brittany Butts being injured, Laura Green, Emily Morphetus, I think this team had the potential to move into the NCAAs and further. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, and sometimes the soccer gods have their fickle finger of fate on us, and this year it wasn't meant to be. Sad to see the seniors graduate and move forward in their lives, but happy as well. They've grown. Courtney Breen, I remember her coming in as a freshman about 130, 6'5" and 130, and now she's 5'10" and 180. She's a monster, she's a beast, she's full of muscle. Brittany Butts has just grown as an individual, and Laura Green has matured tremendously over the last 4 years. And when you see that happen, it makes it all worth it, minus the wins and losses, obviously. But that's a huge part of our job, and I want to thank them online right now for what they've done for our programme, and hopefully they'll maintain some contact and show support over the next couple of years.
I'd like to thank you, Coach, for joining us throughout this season here on the WB Mason Coaches Board on GoHofstra.com.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy.